Before we get started, I just want to say hi and please subscribe and like the video. But quickly get that out of the way. Now let's get started. So what I want to talk about today is the question of, are the Patriots actually cheaters? It's interesting. You look at the Bengals situation. The main thing I'm going to be talking about is the Bengals situation and Deflategate. I might make a part 2 to this, depending on if this runs a little too long. I'll keep it around 10 to 15 minutes like my recent videos. But you think about it, the Bengals situation, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So the accusation was that the Patriots recorded the Bengals sideline prior to their matchup with the Bengals in the regular season, following the Chiefs game. And what was basically being said was that the Patriots filmed the Bengals sideline in order to gain an unfair advantage over the team, which breaks the rules, which it did break the rules. The Patriots, one of the Patriots film crews for a documentary, The Patriot Way, was filming the sideline of the Bengals. And I don't know if he was supposed to be filming the sideline or if he wasn't, but he was filming the sideline. And the rule by the NFL states that you can record the whole field, the sideline, the stands, the field. I mean, we all see the sidelines on TV every time we watch, but it's just about where you can record it from. And the rule basically states that you can record it, but you can only record it from the press box. So the fact that he wasn't in the press box kind of was the big rule breaker there. And a lot of people took it out of context, because I could easily go to a Bengals game and take out my phone and record the sideline. I mean, I recorded the Patriots sideline on Snapchat when I went to Foxborough in Week 17 to watch Patriots-Dolphins. I recorded the sideline. Now, if I sent that over to Bill Belichick, nobody would know. And even if somebody did, it's like, well, it's not against the rules. I'm not part of the Patriots organization. And either way, I mean, you're telling me teams can't just look on TV on the broadcast of the games and see the sideline. But anyways, besides that, even going back to the point where, what advantage do they actually gain from that? See, a big difference between high school football, college football, and moving to NFL football is that in the NFL, you see headsets a lot. You see a lot of headsets. You see a lot of coaching staff with headsets. And the reason for that is that NFL stadiums, one, they're very loud. College stadiums are very loud too. But college stadiums aren't as loud. And just in the NFL, it's a lot higher level. So they use headsets to send plays to the inside of the helmet of the quarterback or defensive player. And it's rare that teams use actual hand signals in the NFL, which is why you usually don't see your high school football coach wearing a headset, because they use hand signals. But why use hand signals in the NFL if you have a headset? It's why coaches, sometimes you'll see them covering their mouth with their play sheet or their note sheet. They'll cover their mouth when they're talking because they don't want to have another team record what they're saying, so that they can kind of maybe get someone to figure out like what he's wording in his mouth. But yeah, I mean, even if they were trying to do that, they were definitely pointing it from the wrong directions. That would have been an idiot move. But again, another point that's proving it is that it wasn't the Patriots football side of things. It was the filmmakers for the Patriot Way. That's who recorded it. It wasn't Bill Belichick. One of Bill Belichick's assistants was down there recording with a high-tech camera. It was that guy reports to a guy who reports to Robert Kraft. Nobody on that line reports to Bill Belichick. So it seems so unlikely. And even with that, you top on the fact that if they're going to record anyone, if they're going to cheat on anyone, why would they do the Bengals? The Bengals are the worst team in the NFL at the time. Of any team, why would you do it to the Bengals? I mean, it would be just like 2% more believable if it was against a team like the Chiefs or the Texans. But a team like the Bengals where everybody has you beating them by 30 points, why would you need to cheat there? You know? It just doesn't make much sense as to why they would put in all that risk to get a little bit of an advantage over the Bengals. Why they would put in all that risk to record hand signals when most teams don't use hand signals because they have headsets. Why they would put in all that risk to get this video that you could find on your TV if you record the game. I mean, it just doesn't make much sense to me at all. It really doesn't. Yeah, no. Hand signals, they're very visible, first of all. It's why it doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I mean, you could easily have someone taking pictures of it, taking a picture of a signal that someone's doing, and then tell them, oh yeah, this was before this play with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. That's when this play happened. Here's a picture of the hand signal is using. Let's remember that. Or they could just have someone literally write a note down and say, he was doing this, and this play happened. Watch out for that, Belichick. No, it doesn't make any sense as to why they would risk all that for the sake of hand signals, which are so rarely used in the NFL. There's more reasons for them not to do it than there are for them to do it, which is why I believe that they didn't do it for the sake of actually gaining an unfair advantage. And it's just, I don't know. It really doesn't make any sense to me. And then that video came out. A lot of people were saying the Patriots guy sounded guilty in the video because he was caught recording the sideline. And then in the video it shows what it was actually on the recording. And then there's a guy talking to him. He's like, oh, the damage is already done, man. Damage is already done, my friend. And he talks about, like, look, there's nothing I can do. I got to report this. And all the while, the Patriots guy is saying, hey, man, I'll delete it. I'll delete it right now. You can watch me delete it. A lot of people said, oh, he sounds guilty. Of course he sounds guilty. I mean, like, what is sound guilty? If sound guilty is being nervous and scared, yeah, I would be nervous and scared because I might lose my job then. There's a very high chance I'm going to lose my job if this costs the Patriots a couple draft picks. It doesn't make much sense. It really doesn't. Why would they want to do it to the Bengals? I mean, there's not really any hand signals. It doesn't make much sense. It just doesn't add up, you know? It's like there's 90 reasons why they wouldn't and 10 reasons why they would. And it's not like the 10 reasons outweigh the 90. It's the Bengals. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't make much sense to me. And then you look at Deflategate. Let's look towards Deflategate. ESPN article came out recently. I'm actually going to read a part of this article to you guys right now. I read the entire thing. It was really interesting. It's an ESPN article talking about Deflategate and what it actually was. Here's just a couple paragraphs from that article on ESPN. Deflategate was a Jedi mind trick to your multiplication tables. It was HD digital to your analog. In its zeal to preserve the perception of credible outcomes, the NFL scandalized itself with an investigation that produced far more suspicion, ill will, and accusations of impropriety than the original allegations themselves. At its core, Deflategate suggested that New England Patriots used an illegal process for lowering the inflation of game balls at the behest of quarterback Tom Brady, who preferred the grip of softer balls. The NFL thought it found proof during a surprise and unprecedented inflation check at halftime of the 2014 AFC Championship game, a 45-7 drubbing of the Indianapolis Colts. It then spent upward of $22 million over the course of the 2 years to investigate, litigate, and discipline Brady and the organization. At best, it was relatively minor rules violations that no rational person would link to the Patriots' victory 2 weeks later in Super Bowl XLIX, just for the sake of directly quoting. And at worst, Deflategate was retroactive framing of the league's most successful franchise and a future Hall of Fame quarterback, a clumsy and forgettable endeavor, and an unfortunate reminder that the NFL's standard for discipline demands only that an event was more probable than not to have occurred. Brady ultimately served a 4-game suspension because the NFL believed he was generally aware of the scheme. So there you go. That's what ESPN said. And kind of to summarize that, they're basically saying that they're not saying Deflategate wasn't a thing, but they're saying that it was taken way out of proportion and the NFL shouldn't have gone as far as they did. And they're saying it really, really wasn't worth it. And I agree. Honestly, I can't say I don't believe in Deflategate. I think there was something there. But do I believe the Patriots deliberately deflated some footballs in order to win an AFC Championship game in which they score the majority of their points using normal footballs? I don't know. You take that with a grain of salt. Think about that yourself. But for me, I wouldn't think so. It was obvious that they were going to destroy the Colts either way, deflated or not. So it doesn't make much sense. It does not. Both of those 2 cheating scandals I talked about, it's like they proved that they could easily beat the team without whatever they were using or accused of doing or using. It doesn't add up. It doesn't. And of course, it's more probable in a big game like that a team would cheat, but still the way they still handed it to the Colts, even with normally inflated balls in the second half, it doesn't make much sense. But anyways, I don't think that the Patriots are cheaters. I think that the public, I think a lot of fans kind of spiral out of control because we like an underdog to a point. We like a player that's good, but if he succeeds too much, it gets on our nerves because we're like, well, you were cool, you were interesting, but can you stop winning Super Bowls? We're getting a little annoyed of it. My favorite team's not winning. You were cool, but my favorite team's not winning. If Patrick Mahomes wins 6 Super Bowls, we will hate him too. But yeah, I don't think the Patriots are cheaters. I think that sometimes they might make a mistake. I do think that Spygate was real. I believe in that. A long time ago, Spygate. I think that was real. I still think it was blown out of proportion. But again, that's what fans do to a good team. I mean, if someone found that the Dolphins were cheating, I don't think many people would care. And then again, I understand that the Patriots, when a team like the Patriots is accused of cheating, it's like, well, they win the Super Bowl every year. We need to look into this because what if they're winning the Super Bowl because of this? But then it's like they do just as good when you can't find anything on them as to when you say you find stuff on them. It doesn't make much sense. But either way, I don't think the Patriots are cheaters. I just think they're a good football team, and I think sometimes it's hard to accept that. And at the smallest possibility that there's a little bit of something in there, we're gonna jump on it. And I don't blame you. I don't blame anyone. But I don't believe the Patriots are cheaters. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and check back next time. See ya.